So Graham, how did the solar PV on the church roof project start? Where did that come from?
I think it arose from a presentation that I did to a group in the village who have visiting lecturers and speakers. They asked me to talk to them about transition. After that meeting, a number of people came forward and we had the nucleus of a transition group in this area. We thought about starting some sort of project that would draw attention to ourselves in a positive way and put us on the map, as it were, in the local community. I can't say whose idea it was, I don't remember, but what I do know is that we realised there were these lovely south-facing roofs on the church that would be ideal for a solar PV scheme.
So Graham, this is a 12th century church. How on earth did you manage to persuade people to put solar PV panels on the roof?
The church itself was relatively easy. There was a clear economic argument for doing it, and the church also feels its role in the local community is very important, wants to show a leadership role. So that was easy. The much harder part really was convincing all the other bodies and authorities that reckon to have an interest in that church. So that's everything from the Church Buildings Council, the Society for the Preservation of Ancient Buildings, English Heritage, the Diocesan Advisory Committee, the local authority planners, of course, and that was a major task, working our way through all of those things, all of those bodies, and getting them on side.
So what was your tactic? How did you approach overcoming those obstacles?
We tried to anticipate at every stage what people's objections and issues might be, and to preempt them, to have answers for all of the questions they might ask. One of the things that came up a number of times was the fact that these panels might be visible and might ruin the views of the church, which are absolutely stunning from the other side of the lake that it sits by. We thought, just using simple geometry, that there couldn't possibly be an issue. Even if they were visible, there would be no reflection from these panels. But we got round that by having a demonstration day, inviting all these various bodies along and showing them, by putting some panels on the roof, that there would be no reflection. They would be visible just about to the naked eye, but look very little different from the original lead roof.
So you eventually won the campaign. You got panels on the roof. They're working now. How long did that all take?
It should have taken a lot less time. From initiating the project in, I suppose, September 2010, we had planning permission, we had diocesan approval by February of the following year. But then there was an enormous delay getting the legal faculty through the church authorities, and we didn't receive that for another 7 months.
So there must have been some opposition, Graham. How did you overcome that?
There was, particularly from English Heritage in the early stages, but we anticipated that there would be people who wouldn't understand what we were doing, or the fact that we care a lot about this building and weren't going to hurt it. So we spent a lot of time going around local groups, talking through our plans, talking through the rationale behind them. And I think that was a major factor in getting through planning permission at the first go, because we had letters of support from the civic society, from local councillors, from people that might have been expected to oppose us, because we'd taken them along with what we were proposing. We actually ended up with more than 80 letters of support for the local authority planning process, and none against, which was very gratifying, because it meant I didn't have to go and camp out on the church roof, and none of the transition people actually had to go and take any sort of direct action like that, which we said we would do, but had we been put to the test, I'm not so sure.
So has it encouraged the uptake of PV in the town, do you think?
Oh, one of the things that's been very encouraging is that it has had this exemplary effect that we kind of hoped it would, and it has caused people to question the way they do things, the way they live. We've installed 10 kilowatts on the church itself, but somewhere between 25 and 30 kilowatts are directly attributable to that installation on other people's houses in the village. We set up a solar buying scheme to help people buy panels at a reasonable price, and people took it up very quickly. So on this Spinney Hill housing estate, you can see several houses, got 5 within this view, have installed solar PV within the past few months. The successful completion of the church project within the first year of our local transition group has given us a great deal of heart as we go forward on a number of other really quite sizable projects around food, community supported agriculture, working with the National Trust, the National Forest, the Forestry Commission, and the fact that we've worked successfully with bodies like English Heritage and the church authorities have given us confidence in working with these other groups, and we're very hopeful that we will have more good things to celebrate at our second AGM and beyond.